Hi, welcome to Pyrography Made Easy. I'm Brenda. In this first texture lettering episode, I'm going to explain how to create 5 different textures to fill in or color letters. This is not a video about creating different font styles. There are numerous ways to get fonts, like using stencils, stamps, Word document programs, and heck, there are even free online font generators you could use. So instead, I will show you 5 ways to give your letters different looks via texture. So let's get to work. If you are using a stencil like I am, then close the gaps between the parts of the letter by drawing lines with a pencil to join the pieces. This will make it less obvious that you used a stencil. Use a writer pen tip to burn along the outer and inner edges of the letter. Then rub over the letter with a pencil eraser to remove any residual graphite. Next, burn short, dark pull-away strokes along all of the upper horizontal lines. Start the stroke on the line and pull it a short ways straight down from the line. Shorten your stroke when working on narrow areas of the letter. Rotate the board and burn short, dark pull-away strokes along the horizontal lines present at this angle. Again, make sure to shorten the length of the stroke when working on narrow areas. Rotate the board and again burn short, dark pull-away strokes along the horizontal lines. Rotate the board one last time and burn pull-away strokes on the remaining lines. Also, make sure to burn pull-away strokes on the inner corners of the letters. Lastly, fill in the rest of the letter so that it is several shades lighter than the edges. The more gradient the shading, the rounder the letters will look. Just like before, pencil in any gaps if using stencils. Then burn along the edges of the letter with a writer pen tip. And lastly, rub over the letters with a pencil eraser to remove any residual graphite. Begin by burning a dark line along the top of the letter. Then burn pull-away strokes that start on the dark line. The stroke should start dark and gradually fade away. To build up the color, just reburn over the area with more pull-away strokes. You might find burning horizontal uniform strokes to be helpful to build up the darker portion of the letter. There isn't one set way that art has to be created, so experiment and discover what method works best for you. Rotate the board and burn a dark line along the bottom edge or edges of the letter. Then fill in this side of the letter with gradient color. For the most part, I used pull-away strokes, but I also used some horizontal uniform strokes. Remember that pull-away strokes need to start on the dark line and get pulled towards the center of the letter. Pull-away strokes always start on the darkest part of the area you're going to be working in. Draw in any gaps, burn your outlines, and remove residual graphite with an eraser from the letters. Then use circular motion to fill the letter with irregular color. You want a variety of tan hues, with the majority of them being in the medium tan range. Make sure to include some light and dark tans too. The light tans are created by barely burning over the area, whereas dark tans are created by repeatedly burning over the spot until the desired darkness is achieved. Switch to a writer pen tip and apply a layer of tiny dots all over the surface of the letter. If you have a ball pen tip, you can use that too. Lastly, use your writer pen tip to burn in cracks on the letter. I try to burn lines that resemble lightning strikes. Once again, get the letters ready by closing the gaps, burning the edges, and erasing any pencil residue. Use a shader to burn a row of touching blotches. A blotch is created by pressing the pen tip to the wood, or paper in this case, for a moment and then lifting it up and away. How long you need to hold the pen tip in place depends on the heat setting of your burner. A high heat setting means a shorter pause time. Each new row of blotches should be slightly touching the previous row. Don't worry if there are little gaps here and there, as that will add to the overall texture. Now, to me, this texture does not look as good on paper as it does on wood, and maybe it's just this particular paper I'm using. Whenever I've incorporated this texture on a project, I always get told it looks just like leather. With our last texture, we begin just like we did the other letters. So close the gaps if you're using a stencil, burn the outline of the letters with a writer pen tip, and then rub over the letters with an eraser to remove any residual graphite. Then use a writer pen tip to apply a layer of dots all over the letter. Again, if you have a ball pen tip, you can use that too. Concentrate the dots along the edges of the letter. The more dots you apply, the darker it will appear. Gradually decrease the number of dots as you get near the center of the letter. Having a pale center and dark edges will make the letter look puffy or slightly rounded. That's it. We are all done. I hope you found the tutorial informative and easy to follow along. In the description below, I provided a link to my website, Pyrography Made Easy. The website has the written tutorial for this episode. The website also has numerous other written tutorials and free patterns, so feel free to check it out anytime. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.